G'day guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I hope you enjoyed today's bloody good stories, and with that said, let's sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and get right into it. Cheers. Am I the asshole here for immediately saying no when my husband asked me to stop wearing earrings because he said they make a woman look older? My husband, 41 male, looks significantly younger than me, 43 female. Yesterday, my husband said that he would like to talk to me. He told me he loves me and that nothing will ever change that. He said I'm an amazing mom and more sweet things. Then he mentioned how earrings make a woman look older. He asked if I could stop wearing earrings as they're making me look older. In less than 20 seconds of him asking, I said no. I don't think that I've ever rejected a request from my husband so fast. I usually think things through for a longer period. My husband said that he's disappointed that I answered no so quickly. I got annoyed with him and told him that he has to deal with the fact that he has an old-looking wife. He said he didn't want to deal with me when I'm like this, and he walked away. Am I the asshole? In the comments, Kaleidoscope asks, how do earrings make a woman look old anyway? I could imagine certain types might. Big costume earrings or certain styles might seem a little more old-fashioned, but it honestly is such a stupid idea that I've never even thought about it before. Unless OP has a really eccentric earring taste, I cannot imagine that they would change how she looks at all. I like to think my having 7 piercings on my ears makes me look younger, but that's probably cope at my age. Even if OP has an eccentric taste in earrings, that's her business. If she wants to wear 45 records dangling from her ears, then more power to her. The thought that someone looks old wearing earrings is ridiculous. I'm about to be 55. Last year, I finally got a flat helix piercing that I've wanted since I was 16. I also got a third lobe piercing on both ears. I told my 8 years younger husband that the older I get, the less age-appropriate I plan to be. Luckily, he loves my crazy. I find it so inspiring to see women celebrating themselves through clothes and accessories. I plan to be 80 years old wearing huge, colorful door knocker earrings. I had one hidden tattoo when we met almost 20 years ago. In the last 9 years, I've added 5 more, with a 6th planned and booked. He's not a fan of tattoos, but he says that it's my body and he loves me, so he supports whatever I want to do. He did ask, very respectfully, that I not tattoo my breasts. I didn't plan to do it, so it was an easy agreement. He actually helped design the one that I'm getting next. In my honest opinion, that is how it should be. Not the asshole. So earrings make you look old. Okay, I guess I look extra old, and so does my teenage daughter because we both have multiple piercings. Not a single part of that argument makes sense. There has to be more to it than just earrings. OP says, I don't know. I had always thought that earrings made girls and women look younger. I've never heard this one before. Now I want to see what earrings you wear. OP says, the most common is white diamond stud earrings. Diamond stud earrings are super classy and timeless. Definitely not something that ages a woman. There's something else here. Maybe earrings remind him of his mum or something that grosses him out. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. Not the asshole. I'm 5 years older than my husband. He's never asked me to stop wearing anything because it makes me look older. I am older. I'm 58 and dress more like Adam Sandler than some sexy woman. I want comfort. Your husband is a weirdo. OP says he hasn't asked me to change anything else. Edit, after thinking about it, it's not true that he hasn't asked me to change anything. Well, what else has he asked you to change? OP says he really wants me to clear my adult acne. But acne makes you look like a teenager. He can't have it both ways. Yeah, this is weird. It's a very weird request coming from him, and I feel like he's not being entirely truthful about why he's asking her to stop wearing earrings. Like, it surely has to be something else, because at this point it's just bleeding insecurity, and you are more than welcome to shut that down because it's your body, your choice. You're not hurting anyone by doing what you're doing. The issue is him projecting his fear of aging onto you. That would be my best guess. If he's so disappointed and upset about you answering no so quickly, maybe he needs to do some reflection on why the request itself deserved an instant no. You can always discuss preferences in a healthy and polite manner. There's nothing wrong with that. But in this instance, it just sounds like he's uncomfortable with aging, and that's a him problem to fix. Not yours to fix by never wearing earrings again in his presence, because that's just ridiculous. And now, on to the update. Before the update, I want to answer a frequent question. My husband had said on Saturday something about earrings highlighting a woman's face, how it can highlight wrinkles. That's why he said earrings make women look older. And to clear up some confusion about how I word things, he didn't mean that if a girl or woman in her 20s wears earrings, they end up looking like a grandma. By earrings making a woman look older, he just meant older than if they weren't wearing earrings. Okay, so now the update. I had decided that I shouldn't act like a pushover like I normally do. I decided that I needed to confront my husband about what he said on Saturday. This morning, I talked to him. He said that he loves me, and he said that he's sorry that he hurt my feelings. He admitted that he finds me less physically attractive than when I was in my 20s and 30s, not only because of my aging, but also because of my adult acne. He said I'm definitely not ugly, that I'm still cute. He said he's angry at himself for caring about such superficial stuff. He specifically apologized for asking me to stop wearing earrings. He said he honestly didn't think that I would get so angry. I confronted him about other stuff he said that sounded like criticisms. He said that stuff was just flirting, and he apologized for being insensitive. He told me he loves me, and he will never ask me to change anything about my appearance again. I was honest with him about all the activities I was doing on Reddit. He said he's not angry that I reached out for perspectives. He said it's fine if I talk to my family or friends about this. He said that I need to feel more comfortable with expressing how I really feel. Something many women will find pathetic. I asked my husband how less physically attractive I am now. He said in my 20s and most of my 30s, I was smoking hot. Now I'm a cutie. I asked him what will happen when I age more. What about when I turn 50? Then 60, then 70, then 80. He said plenty of 80-year-old women are adorable. He said he knows he messed up royally, but he's asking me not to leave him over this. He said he loves me and will love me forever. I don't know how to feel right now. In the comments, Talwa says, if he thinks he was flirting and you think he was criticizing, then there's a major disconnect in communication happening. Sounds like negging, which is shitty when you're just dating and extra shitty when it's your spouse. Yeah, that's what bothered me too. Even if he didn't intend it that way, it definitely landed as criticism, not flirting. Honestly, it sounds like an excuse. If his intention is to flirt, the result should have been different. OP's confidence wouldn't have been hurt. Not the asshole. Please know your worth. He's acting like he's complimenting you by calling you a cutie, but he's chipping away at your confidence. Ick. He's being mean to you. Your update doesn't help the image of your husband. I'm sorry that you married such a superficial and controlling man. What happens when you get even older? He'll trade you in for a newer model because that's all he cares about. Don't believe his deflection. In all sincerity, it's better you leave him now and have the time to rebuild your life as a relatively young woman than to wait until you are 60 and it's much harder on every level. OP says, I definitely don't feel reassured about what he said. Yeah, he's soft launching his, babe, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. The balls to tell you that you're losing your hotness because you're growing old with him. OP says, I don't know what to make of the information he's told me. Well, you say that he's an idiot who somehow thinks that he still looks like a 20-year-old. He doesn't. No one does. Without Real Housewives work, quote-unquote. OP says, I may get downvoted for saying this. I have never heard him say that he looks young. It's other people who say it. His whole family looks young. Well, not 20 years young. No one does. Stop giving him alibis. Trust me, as ugly as he's being to you, it shows on the outside too. Do you know people have partners that tell them that they'll always be the most beautiful person in the world to them because that's what love does to a person. This is so sad. Yes, my husband regularly tells me this. We married when I was 35, and we've been married for 20 years. When I look at him, he's still the same 40-year-old I married. And I hope that he still sees me as that cute 34-year-old, even when we are 80 and 90. I know I say it all the time, but I really hope that OP goes and reads everyone's accounts and everyone's personal stories about their successful and healthy relationships, marriages, everything. Sure, he apologized in this situation and he owned it and admitted that he messed up, but to me it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel like he really means any of that. I think he just realized that he delivered the message wrong, it came across really hurtful, that it's not being well received, and he's having to backtrack as a result. But he wouldn't be doing this if OP hadn't been like, what the fuck? He would own that, because he means it. All of these people who have loving, healthy marriages are telling you that you don't go from smoking hot to cutie. That's not something you say, and it should not be accepted. Aging is inevitable. Loving someone means that you grow with them. You don't grade them on a sliding scale. I think you deserve to be desired, OP. At this point, it sounds like he is just tolerating you. The earrings was a bullshit excuse, as expected. And I believe that the I love you, but I'm not in love with you speech is coming at some point in the future, whether you do anything about this situation now or not. That's just sad that he would do this. I'm sorry, OP, but not the asshole, and good luck going forward. Our next post is by a throwaway account titled, "The girl 22 female, I'm 27 male, dating, jokingly said that our mutual friend 26 male should have gotten with her instead of me, and it hurt me." For context, this girl and I have known each other for 6 months, dating for 1, as she was in a committed relationship before. We met at the gym as we practiced the same sport, and then we became friends. When we got closer as friends, she decided to end things with her ex, and I made my move. Before that, I kept all interactions to friend stuff. Before we started dating, we made clear that we were looking for something serious. Lately, a mutual friend of ours, which she's told me months ago she finds attractive, also became very successful in our sport. Started going out with another girl we know that attends the same gym. When I told her, she initially sounded happy for him. But then over text, she said, "Anyway, it's not fair. I wanted him. You could have gotten with her." I was quite shocked, and I answered, "What kind of sentence is that to say?" And then told her that she was still on time to try and get with him. She then switched subjects, and when she realized I wasn't having it, she said that she was just joking and that, "You know I only want you." And when I said I didn't feel like this was a thing to joke about, she said she didn't mean to hurt me and that she was really sorry about it. I then tried to work my reasoning out with her by trying to reverse roles and asking her how she would have felt, and she said that if she knew I was joking, she would have taken it lightly. She later tried to reassure me and said she was sorry again. Last night, I had trouble sleeping and went to the gym in the morning. I paid very little attention to her. We've agreed not to bring relationship stuff into the gym, and she gave me my space. Later, we spoke in the car about it again. She cried, saying that she felt like she gave me enough security and trust via her actions during this month dating, so that a joke such as this could have been said without anyone getting hurt. And I explained my feelings more in detail. I told her that unfortunately, I've already experienced stuff of a similar fashion in my past with other people, so I'm particularly sensitive about topics like this one, and I find it difficult to recognize clearly what is bothering me because of my trauma and what is a clear issue in the relationship. This doesn't change the fact that what she did was wrong. but I asked her to be extra gentle and patient with my reaction to it. She agreed and said that she was sorry, that she wants me to feel safe and peaceful. She then asked me if I needed some time alone, and I said yes. I feel like the way that she handled the discussion was appropriate, and I also think she was truly sorry about it. But somehow, I can't shake this gut feeling of hurt. Maybe I just need a bit more time. In the comments, yeah, definitely one of those "I'm only joking because I was being a little serious and you took it badly" moments. Yes. Time to look for something else. Don't waste your time with this one. OP says, why then get with me? If he was still single when she dumped her ex. He probably doesn't want her. Maybe she did try, but he didn't reciprocate her feelings, didn't respond to her flirtation. OP says, the guy is a friend of mine, and I'm positive he would have told me for sure if she did anything shady. Sure, if what she did was shady, but if she just expressed a bit of interest that wasn't reciprocated before you were involved with her, why would he think that that's shady, or something worth sabotaging your new relationship over? If it was all mild and not noteworthy from his perspective, then he'd probably just step back and happily let you two progress without being a jerk and intervening for no reason with non-news. Dude, she was in a committed relationship that she ended, then just to date you after a few months, and then she pulls out this kind of talk 1 month into your relationship? I don't think she understands what commitment means, or respect for one's partner. If you're just looking for a fun, casual relationship to pass the time with, then sure, keep dating her and enjoying it while it lasts, because I don't think it will be long before some other attractive guy pulls her interest. But if you're actually looking for a life partner, I think you have enough data on her at this point to know that she's not the one. OP says, she didn't end it specifically to get with me, if that's what you're implying. If you're not, I mean no offense. I waited for her to end it on her own without exposing my romantic interest, to be sure that she genuinely wasn't just jumping ships. Rotrick replies, 1 month after a serious relationship, she started another one. A month after that, she said she preferred a better-looking guy and wished that she was with him instead of you. Sounds like a serial monogamist. Don't bring it up again. It's still early, so your relationship will fail if you do. You seem determined to stay with her, but also to argue on her behalf to everyone here. What most people in the post are trying to convey to you is that they don't think this relationship will work in the long term. In the short term, she's going to stay with you because she's afraid of being alone. She was just in a long-term relationship and knows how to act for the most part. And after only a month, she spent a lot of time assuaging you on this matter, but you're here because you were still upset. This story reads like neither person is super happy or ready to be in a relationship. Here. Yeah, I don't think either of you are ready for this relationship in particular, at least. She knows that her joke was careless and hurtful, if that was a joke at all. You're not wrong for feeling stung by it either. That's not an okay thing to say a month into this relationship. That's just basically saying, why are we together? You should be with her and I should be with him. Why are we wasting our time here? And yeah, you have bad past experiences. You having a reaction to your trauma doesn't mean that you're overreacting in this situation either. It just means that this is going to sting even harder than it would someone that didn't go through that. You communicated properly, sincerely, transparently. I think that's a green flag on your behalf. You didn't blow up over it. You didn't hide your emotions and bottle it all up to explode later. That's good. I respect that. But right now, I think you do just need some time and some space. You asked for it. She's giving it to you. I'm keen to see what she does in response to all of this. But I'm going to say not the asshole, because I think she's the asshole in this situation. And now, on to the update. Yesterday, we had an open conversation about it, because I felt like there were some things left unsaid. We talked for hours, and we both opened up about our past, and what was going on in our heads during these events. To sum it up, 1. The reason behind her saying that joke was that she said she wanted to make me purposefully feel jealous. She expected to trigger me into saying something along the lines of, "What the hell? Fuck that. You're mine, and I want you, not her." I realized this is manipulatory behavior, and I told her that, and she apologized. 2. The deep reason why she acted this way was to get attention. She explained to me that she has or has had deep issues with both her parents and past partners regarding not feeling loved, being ignored, and being left alone. I was already aware of some stuff, but I hadn't realized the extent of it all. She explained some stuff that had happened to her and that she doesn't know how to cope with it, so sometimes she just gets too clingy. But other times she pulls shit like this. She agreed to start therapy immediately to work on her issues. She had already looked into it on her own and asked me to have a look at a couple of resumes of the therapists that she liked the most. 3. The dynamic with our friend. Well, since some of the stuff that happened didn't add up, I asked her point blank what her thoughts about the situation were. She told me that while it's true that she finds him to be an attractive guy, she perceived that as necessary, but not enough to consider him a potential partner, because she felt that, other than the other sports side things, they didn't have anything else in common that could click. She also told me that if she had anything in mind, she would have made a move on him on the occasions that they were at the gym or in competition without me. She also seemed to be aware that he finds her to be attractive, in a she's pretty kind of way. And 4, in our conversation, I also opened up about my past and the way that stuff like this, even if more serious, has already hurt me and left me sensitive over these matters. She offered that while she starts her therapy, to give me space and try to control her clinginess to let me work through my thoughts about this. While I think what has happened isn't good at all, especially considering how early it happened in the relationship, I do believe that there may be a silver lining to it. Does this sound reasonable? In the comments, Bean Penis says, dating a month and already getting therapy to fix a relationship? Whew. If you stick to it, then you are both fools. This is way too much drama for just a month in. I wouldn't have stayed just out of not wanting to be tired. Nobody who respects themselves would stay. Dude, it's your relationship, and as per Rule 3, it's not a moral judgment sub, but you need to decide for yourself what you'll put up with. The last time you posted, you were dead set on continuing to see her, despite most people telling you this behavior was a red flag. If you feel the need for Reddit's approval on your decision, then you shouldn't be dating. OP says, couldn't it just be that maybe I'm hurting and I don't have to talk to someone about this too? I just feel like talking it out this way could be better than the alternative. Also because being hurt doesn't help with thinking things out, but seeing other points of view does. Please be patient. You're just going to get a repeat of your last post. If you're set on dating her, then date her. You have the friend that she said she wanted to date. What's stopping you from talking to him? Good question. A supreme amounts of cope coming from OP. Just deluding himself about the reality in front of his face. Look, OP, I've had a friend like this. She is not great in this regard when it comes to dating. It always gets to the 3 to 4 month mark with whoever she's dating, and shit just hits a wall. They start having fights where you'll genuinely need a therapist to work through all their problems to bring them back to a point of stability, but it's just going to repeat itself. I see patterns in her relationships that are unhealthy in you, OP. She's testing you. Shit tests like this to see your reaction are not acceptable and you should not put up with them. And people that do that are not people that we should be dating. Her intentionally trying to make you jealous is a gigantic red flag. You should get the fuck away from her. I get that she owned it, she explained the root of this, and she says she's actively seeking therapy. But this is 1 month in, come on brother. These are problems that potentially show up a year or more into relationships. She's shown her ass from the start. I give you permission to leave her and stop deluding yourself. I think you should give yourself some more space to think over this one. And if you do decide to forgive and forget over this situation, see if it happens again in the future. Maybe another month from now, there will be another incident with this man. But hey, these are your lessons to learn. Good luck. Our next post is by user Lawfulness Due, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for wanting to take our cat with me after my marriage? Hi. This issue has led to fights in my house the past week, and at this point, I thought that I'll ask here. So I'm going to get married in a few months, and I currently live with my parents. 6 years ago, my aunt had gifted me my cat for my 18th birthday when he was a kitten. She knew that I loved cats. I'd always wanted one, so that was her gift, and it was the best gift that I've ever received. I was the one who organized his diet, litter trained him, named him Casper, got him to respond to his name, had him snuggle with me, had huge arguments with my parents in the initial days over him, and defended him. Over time, Casper became an integral part of our family. Last week, we were just planning on how to start moving my stuff to my fiancé's place, and I also brought up his cat tree. My younger sister was like, 'Why would you take his cat tree? You're not taking Casper.' I said, 'Of course I am. He's my cat, and my fiancé loves him too.' I'd already discussed things with him, but my parents too were against taking him, and my sister started full-on sobbing. I was beside myself, and we had an argument. I told them that Casper was a gift for me. I had raised him when he was a kitten, and I brought up to my parents how they used to say that he's too much work and a mess in the earlier days. Since then, whenever the topic has been brought up, my sister gets heated. My parents low-key side with her, saying that Casper is used to the house and cats are creatures of habit. I've told them that they have 3 months to make their peace with the fact that Casper is coming with me. Am I the asshole? Edit. To address some frequent questions. My college was in the same city that we live in, as is my job. I commuted to college from home. And no, my fiancé and I haven't been living together. The first time my dad and I took him to the vet, he was registered under my name. Until I got a job after college, I would do his expenditures with my pocket money, and my parents would also pay. Since I've been working, I do the bulk of spending on him, but my parents do too. My sister is 17, and yes, will be living in the same city. She will be seeing him often. It's the fact that my parents are siding with her, and not even just to support her, but of their own accord. They too have been saying that Casper should stay here. I'll try to bring up them adopting a new cat. In the comments, Hellgirl says, "Info. At the end of the day, what's the best for the cat? If Casper is your shadow when you're around and would pine without you, then the only decision is to take Casper with. If Casper is now closer to your parents or sister now, or prefers to hang out in a certain spot in the house over and above spending time with you, then Casper should stay at the house. Does Casper ever get anxious, show signs of separation anxiety or depression when you're not at home? Like if you go away for a few days? What about if Casper gets taken away from the house, like for trips to the vet? How does Casper cope in those scenarios? Also, does your fiancé have any other animals that Casper may have to acclimatize to? Has your fiancé spent much time with Casper? Is Casper comfortable with them? If you can get a clear answer from asking these questions, then this should make the decision easy." OP says, "Thanks a lot for this. A bit begrudgingly because you've made me rethink stuff. I love Casper, and I know that he will be happy with me. And I know that my family loves him too, and he knows he is loved. I'll think over this. Should pets stay back in the old house when people move to a new house? No. Pets adapt to new surroundings and will ultimately be more comfortable with the person who raised them. That's you, and your cat should come with you." Yeah, people are really overblowing the whole, "Oh my god, cat gets used to one place and can never adapt to a new home" business. Pets have to move sometimes. Kitty will be okay moving with OP. Not the arsehole. Seems pretty cut and dry to me. Casper was a gift to you. You also took care of him. He's your cat. So of course he's coming with you. If your sister wants a cat, your parents can get her one. And as someone who has moved with cats before, yes, some might need a bit to get used to the new environment, but he will be fine. Don't let your parents tell you otherwise. Plus, many cats are also very much attached to their human, more than to a specific house. I'm on board with that. I think not the arsehole here, OP. I think you should take Casper with you. Because at the end of the day, he was gifted to you. You raised him, you advocated for him, you trained him, you paid for his care, and he's registered in your name. That makes him your cat. I understand your family getting attached over time, and your sister's emotional reaction about this one. That makes sense as well, but that doesn't mean that you give up ownership of Casper. He is still your responsibility at the end of the day. And yeah, that cats can't change line of thinking, that is weak. Cats adapt, especially when they're with their primary person, which is obviously you. I think moving with you will be less stressful than you leaving Casper behind. And maybe it's time for them to adopt another cat, so that whatever void Casper leaves in their lives can be filled with a new, loving cat of their own. And now, onto the update. Thank you for the feedback to my original post. I took comfort in the fact that I was well within my right to take Casper with me, and was determined to do that. A few comments, one in particular, had stressed that I should make sure to do what's best for Casper. Despite our arguments, I got the feeling that my parents and sister, or my parents at least, had accepted that Casper would be coming with me. My dad had talked about how I should introduce him briefly to my fiancé's house in advance, so it seems like they had accepted it. One thing that I had been asked to consider was who his person was. While as a kitten, Casper was only bonded to me, especially when my parents were still against him, he's a family cat now. He'll sometimes curl up on my bed while sleeping, sometimes on my sister's. When my mum's making food, he'll sit as a loaf next to her on the counter while she goes over the recipe with him. And as far as laps go, anyone is fair game for him. My mum will often hold him in her lap when she's watching the news and talk to him about what's happening in the news. Whenever my dad goes to the meat shop, he essentially gets liver for him too, which we boil and feed him. And my sister loves dressing him up, which he does without resistance. So I just couldn't say that Casper was only bonded to me and not them. Nor could I say that I'm the only one who was bonded to him. It's a bit unfair to my fiancé, but what made me decide was when I was talking to him and he said that we could make a cat door for the cat when we move in. It's stupid to nitpick, but I can't remember the last time Casper was called the cat by us, and we don't let him out. In fact, we had called someone to make sure any holes or openings were all sealed. So I've decided to leave Casper with my family. I think it's best for him. I can't imagine how it will feel to be without him. He's my baby, and just typing this has gotten me crying, but I'll visit him every 2 days. I haven't told my family yet in case I break and change my mind, but I will tell them soon. Thank you. In the comments, Dina Felice says, "That's smart. It sounds like your fiancé's heart is in the right place, but he's still basically a stranger to Casper, and vice versa. Under the circumstances, it makes sense to leave Casper in his current home with multiple beloved family members, rather than a huge disruption of a new home and a new person to get used to, especially since you and your fiancé will hopefully be spending a lot of time focusing on each other." OP says, "Thanks. I'm so torn between wanting him to never forget me, but also not wanting him to miss me. But yeah, I know he's going to be safe and loved here, and that's what matters in the end." Well, cats don't forget their people, even after years. Casper will remember you, and he'll be excited every time he sees you again. Solidly support this. My family cat would get excited and jump up onto my shoulder every time I arrive at the house after I'd been moved out for years. They don't forget their favorite people. The family cat we had when I moved out definitely remembered me. He would meet me at the door every time I visited my parents. I'd asked about taking him with me to my mother, as he was basically both of ours. My dad wasn't big on pets, and she told me in no uncertain terms that I could take him over her dead body. And I left it at that. Oh God. I heard someone say recently that you trust someone when you believe that they would be willing to do the hard thing for someone else's sake, or otherwise for the right reasons. Even though it's difficult, you're doing the right thing out of love. Moving can be really stressful for cats, even under the best circumstances. Casper deserves to stay in his happy home. He's a lucky kitty to have so many people who love him. You'll still be able to see him often, so hang on to that idea if you feel yourself start to waver. This is a big enough transition for you and your fiancé already. Probably best to wait until you're more settled and have had a chance to discuss your expectations and values around pet ownership before introducing that as an element of your household. Good luck, and give Casper a pat for me. Well, I didn't know that the fiancé felt that way about the cat. Fair enough if that's the case, and your fiancé doesn't really fuck with the cat like that because he's not really met the cat. Interesting. Yeah, I think Casper should stay in the family home. You put Casper's needs above your own wants, and that's what you have to do sometimes. That's what happens in these situations. And yeah, he's not just bonded to you. He is in fact bonded to the whole family. He has routines. He has people that love him there. And I think, yeah, uprooting him now would not be the best idea for him because it's not like where he's moving to is a better alternative. I think you've made the most selfless choice here. I know that it's going to hurt, but it's for the best, and thank you for doing that for Casper. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.